Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. All right. Here we go. I think we're going to be okay. Make sure that we're broadcasting live here. Just want to welcome everybody to Iggy Garcia Live. This is episode 127. Excuse me as I clear my throat. Don't really want to be doing that, but so today we're going to be just kind of take some time and share together and just kind of process a little bit of what's happening so far in 2021. We're moving right along here. We're right into this next month. And for those of you who follow and listen to me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and all the different platforms that I'm on, you can tell that I've kind of been in a place where we're just trying to get everybody to just to kind of just settle in a little bit, because we've been through a lot in the last year. So before we go any further with the show, I want to light a candle and burn some sage and just kind of welcome that energy into our homes, because sometimes we just need a little bit of love and we need a little bit of sharing. So I'm going to light this candle here. Light this candle, giving thanks to our ancestors, giving thanks for everybody who's come before us, my mom, my dad, my family, friends, uncles, everybody who's I've been in contact. So I want to give thanks, and I want to light this candle of abundance and this candle to just remember that, abundance comes in many shapes and forms. And I want to thank Creator. I want to thank, just the things that I don't see, the things that come into my world and bless me and give me the opportunity to share my story and to be able to be grateful for the small things and the big things, because they all work in conjunction. So here we are. So this candle's for all of you. I light this abundance candle that you all have abundance in this lifetime, this day, tomorrow, next day. And it is good to be here. Thank you, Amanda, for reminding me of that. And I want to welcome everybody to the show who are popping in. So I'm going to burn a little sage. This is from my garden from the last harvest. Just cleansing and clearing. Just try to get this all in there. Smells really good. If you've never grown your own white sage or lavender and used it, you should try it this year. Thank you, Spirit, for these magical gifts, these sacred gifts. So, all right. So I am actually broadcasting on Zoom, and I'm also broadcasting here on With Insights Radio. With Insights Radio has been around for, wow, more than the 2000. So that's what, 21 years? Wow. That's incredible how time flies and how we move in this work that we do. And man, I just can't believe it's 21 years that I've been broadcasting on that network, been doing that work with Insights, and all the great people who I have met, all the great people who I've interviewed, and all the amazing teachers that have come along and shared with me their stories and all the amazing things that they bring to the world. So I find that pretty magical to think that I've had a hand in that. This particular show is fairly new. It's about 6 years old, this particular show. But I've been on that network with Insights Radio for quite some time, still broadcast with them and work with them and all the magical things they do. They do articles and different things. So you can look up withinsightsradio.com. You can see a lot of articles from past DJs or metaphysicians, whatever you want to call them, people who are hosts on these shows. It's pretty good stuff. So last last week I talked a little bit about fear and what fear was bringing to the world, and how we can't allow fear to either motivate us, or fear can actually cause us to just lock down like one of those fainting goats, the ones that bounce around and you scare them and they fall over and they just lock up. We can do that, or we can be present, in our life, being where we are. And I was pretty animated. I was pretty moved, and I was pretty excited about it because the message I had to share was kind of a spontaneous message. I usually don't do it just show out of the random, but it's the mind of Iggy. It's where my mind was at that moment and where I was participating in my mind and feeling. And sometimes you just have to get out there and share. But I do want to take a moment to actually, I want to play my flute for healing, for all those people who are suffering, for all those people who are going through something right now. I have many friends who have family members and themselves who are in the hospital, people who are not well, people who are going to go into surgery, people who are suffering from COVID, heart related issues, all you name it, the things that life brings onto us. I want to be able to share that with you guys. So I'm going to adjust myself here a little bit. Take this light down a little bit. It's kind of brighten my face. The magic of the internet. So I'm gonna play. I might be a little rusty, but I'm looking forward to be able to share my music with you. I'm actually putting together an album that will be available on my website on iggygarcia.com, which will be um, about the drumming, about music, and I wanted to be able to share the gifts that have been endowed to me by spirit and share that with everybody. So I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to actually sell this album online, and I'm also going to be I'm going to do some research on where I would like to donate a portion of that money that comes from that. I feel like there's a lot of need right now for folks who are not having the opportunity to eat well because of COVID, because of the lockdowns, because of this. So I'm going to do some research on that. I'm going to converse with some friends of mine who work in these industries, where my money will be most relegated to helping families, relegated to helping children. Because sometimes we donate excuse me, things to organizations, and the money doesn't go directly to anything that funds these projects in the capacity which you think it should. So I'm going to be doing that. I will let everybody know as that progresses. That's one of my projects. I'm also working on a new documentary. It's called Spontaneous Healing. That's kind of the gist of it. I've already started working on that project, where I'm interviewing certain people about what they've experienced through spontaneous healing, what has happened to them, what kind of things have gone in their lives. And so spontaneous healing can be anything. It could be somewhat miraculous healing, a miraculous change of emotion, spirit. Considering it through the drum circles, I know I've done a lot of grief counseling through circles, and I have seen people just wake up and just their heart just be full of love and able to move forward in their lives because of the sounds of the drums, the rhythms, and the community and stuff. So that's a project that I'm working on. These are two projects that it's going to take some time to put together. But I think once it's done, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool. And some of the songs you'll know, some of the rhythms you'll know, and some of them will be really soft, and some of them will be really easy for meditation. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So I'm gonna clear my throat here with a little water, and I'm gonna get my flute, and I'm gonna play for you guys. Okay. All right. Turn my microphone down a little bit. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun. I like playing my flute. I don't play it enough. I need to play it with a little more um, regularity because I don't get out there and do it. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the flute playing there because it's one of those things I like doing, and it's fun too. It's fun to play that. So I am actually online on Zoom. If you have Zoom, I'm going to send you a link. If you want to join me, come on air. You want to talk to me, you want to ask me a question online, this is a good time to do it. I'm going to give you the link, then I'm going to give you the passcode. Okay, so here is the link, and I'm about to give you the passcode. All right, the passcode. Okay, passcode is. All right, there we go. I believe the passcode is 86. Oh, sorry. 860. Let's see. 860 322. Okay. 322. Okay. So if you want to join me, you want to come on air with me, and you want to ask questions, you want to talk. If you just want to talk with me and just share what's on your mind and what's happening and how you're feeling about things, this is the time to do it. This is the opportunity open to you. I'm going to open up this forum today, open up this this dialogue with everybody, and this is a good time to have this moment to share how you're feeling. I want to know how everybody in the general public is feeling out there. How everybody in other parts of the world, in your little cubicles, your little homes, your places of adventure, your places of putting yourself in. So I want you to join me. So I just put the link up here. Hit the link, and then the passcode is down here. Join me. Come on board. I'll get you on. I think it'll be fun. I hope someone will join me because I like to have company sometimes. And it's always fun to talk about what's on our mind. What's in our mind? For me, it's about the illusions of things right now. The illusions of, the things that are happening in the world, the things that are going on. There's a lot going on, folks. There's a lot of things happening right now. We are on an emotional roller coaster right now. We are just going through a plethora of different things. There's so much, information coming at us. There's so much happening to us that we don't even know sometimes if we're coming or going. There's times where we feel like, we need to just like stop and take a breath. And it doesn't feel real sometimes. I feels like it's like we're in this movie or this other reality. It feels kind of displaced. Yesterday, I was feeling like everything was just so quiet. The quiet was so loud. I walked outside and it was just loud. And when I mean loud, silence can, because you only hear your thoughts at that moment. There was no wind, there was no cars, there was no birds chirping, there was nothing. It was just like constant, like you're in a vacuum of sorts, and there was just nothing there. So it's pretty amazing. So right now, we're living in we're living in the 3D world, but we also live in a 5D world, 6D world, 7D world, 8D world. Depending on what you've been learning and the things you've been studying, there's all kinds of things that come at us right now. We're in a very big moment of adaptability. We're adapting, we're changing, we're moving into these new versions of ourselves. We're constantly evolving. We're moving into, is things just aren't the same. After when March came in 2019, our lives were kind of turned upside down to some degree, because everything that we knew and everything how we had lived for these period of time had totally been changed, and that's what happens, and that's totally what went on. So I got somebody here online who's joining me, and see if they can get on here. I'm gonna unmute them here. If they can unmute them. Maybe they got themselves muted. Well, anyhow.
Hello, Iggy.
Hey, welcome. Who do I have here with me?
This is Amanda.
Hey, Amanda, how you doing? That says it
all. Well, I had myself muted because I was trying to step away from the living room. My grandmother is almost 100 years old, so her ears.
Awesome.
Her poor ears, she can't hear. But no, I felt like I needed to get on here and talk to you. I was just saying, like, somebody said something and about like how long it's been since they did something, and I just told them, for me, like, time just doesn't something that just seems strange.
Sure.
You know, and now I do live with a woman who's almost 100 years old, so I do believe that time is like a man-made illusion. I mean, she's living, walking, moving proof of that every day, that age is not.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like there's so much pressure, with age. How old are you? How old,
Sure.
And I used to be a preschool teacher, and I think about the things that we say to children, things that I've said, things that I've been taught, and it just seems, I don't know, I guess to put so much pressure on us as human beings, like, well, when you're this age, this is what should be happening, and then at this age, this is what should be happening,
right?
And it's not always the case. And so I don't know, time just seems weird to me right now. I went outside the other night, maybe it was like midnight or like 1 o'clock. I was talking to a friend of mine. We're like a caregiver support group to each other because she cares for her 80-year-old father, and I'm taking care of grandma, and so it's nice to have somebody to bond with. But I was so it's 2 hours earlier where she is. I'm standing outside and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it looks like it's about to, like, the sun's about to come up. It
really?
was the sky was it was such a weird, bright, and it was very quiet, here, it was snowy, so the snow always makes everything quieter. But it was just.
That's how I felt yesterday. I felt yesterday, like the afternoon when, like, after like 3 o'clock hit, it was like everything was really like quiet. It was like I was in, like, everything had frozen. I mean, it is frozen because it's cold up here, but
right.
But it felt like everything just like stopped for a second, and I didn't hear wind. I didn't hear cars. There was nothing. There was no sound outside. It wasn't eerie. It was just really bizarre. It was just, and it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. My mind is starting to go, dude, what's going on? I'm thinking, just relax, man. Just chill, gut. Everything will be okay. But I know what you're saying. Time, we put a lot of emphasis on time because, time is an illusion. It's a man-made thing, construct. But it's cool that your grandmother, she's 100 years old. That's like, she's seen so many things and so many changes. And for a lot of us, after 9/11, a lot of us kids before 9/11, we saw the world completely different. We didn't have computers. We didn't have all these things. Now these kids today, they are inundated with all kinds of technology, all kinds of fast-moving equipment. It's like, man, how did we get by? How did we make it through life? I really think about that sometimes.
Oh, I do too. Because when I was still a preschool teacher, it was just like iPads and stuff, like all that was kind of new, so like if you had money, you had one of those. And so I remember, people saying, well, like, this is what I do, I put my kid in front of this, so I can get stuff done.
Right.
And I'm not judging, but I remember thinking, like, I remember looking at her and thinking, like, well, I'm here taking care of them. I can't do that. Like, we don't do that. And so, and I remember thinking to myself, I wonder what that kind of effect that's going to have on them, because, we have to wait on a lot of things.
Sure.
And we have to wait on stuff, and I'm learning to wait on my higher powers' timing, not my timing, not things that I want to happen right now, and patience. And it's like that instant gratification, is just, it can be muy malo sometimes.
Yeah, it could be muy malo, yes, because we get everything so quickly and so fast. you know, it just happens so rapidly. I mean, there was a time where everything just happened by progression and just, I remember we used to wait for movies to come out, you know, 2 years, and now they come out every like year now, or so everything is like very quickly. After 2012, you know, the acceleration of time has just been quicker and faster. Technology is moving quicker and faster. Let me ask you a question. Since you were a preschool teacher, do you notice how kids are today? Do you feel like they're a little different than the time when you were teaching them? And when you see preschoolers, they seem a little more advanced. I mean, any kind of observation?
Well, so it's hard for me to speak to that because I'm not a preschool teacher right now. I
Okay.
do home health.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because of COVID, I really haven't seen a child. It's so sad. I haven't seen a child and like
Oh,
held them, like
sure.
so I would say that, I don't know. I can't really speak to that. I know that I will say this.
Okay.
My niece, she is 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just a very like organic, random conversation that we were having. I don't remember how basically what I said to her was um something about bullying,
Okay.
like there's always been bullying, like when I was in school, there was bullying.
Right.
And so I asked her, I said, do have you experienced bullying? Like, have you had bullies at your school? You know what she said to me?
What'd she say?
She said, not now.
Not now.
And I said, well, what do you mean not now? And she's like, well, now that we're back at school, like with smaller groups and, everybody, it's different for them. They have to wear masks and all this stuff. They have to go to lunch and eat quietly. They can't speak. They can take their masks off, but they can't speak to each other while they're eating lunch. It's all different. And she's like, yeah, not now. And so I wondered, after I got off the phone with her, like, I mean, think about how crazy it was. School shootings, violence,
Yeah.
bullying, cyberbullying. And then this pandemic happened. And, like I didn't, gear her for that question. Like I said, it was just very random. And I was thinking about it later. It stuck with me. Could it be a coincidence there's no bullying just because of the group that she's in? Sure. Could it be that kids are realizing that it's nice to be with each other and let's just be here and not, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's you have a different perspective, and you start to see things a little differently, and you approach life a little differently when you're not able to do things. And we've been out of this loop. A lot of kids have been out of the loop for school in the sense of physical school. They've been on online school. I coach at a middle school, and I remember the kids are half days, and half days they were on computers, and some kids like the computers, some kids like the human interaction. So it really depends. But I think we're forced to adapt. Adaptability is a very big part of who we are right now and how we're going to survive. Right now, a lot of people are struggling in these pandemic times just because it's difficult to adjust yourself to a different way of living, but you're kind of forced into it. So how have you and your grandmother been doing during this time, since you're her caregiver? And what's life like for you guys? I mean, is it just, and just a normal day? I mean, what was the difference between before and now?
Well, so now my grandmother, she never took the flu shot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something she never wanted to take. She's had other, vaccines in the past, and, but
Right.
the flu shot, she wasn't about it. So in the wintertime, we already kind of like self-quarantined just because, it's cold. Number one, cold outside. We live in Cleveland, Ohio. So it's snowy, it's ice, so in the wintertime, we were already self-quarantined. So when it happened, we were coming off of our natural, what we do in the wintertime, for a few years, I don't want to get sick. She doesn't want to get sick. So we just don't go out a lot,
Right.
and we don't go out a lot because it's cold. So then when the shutdown happened, you know, we were already kind of in that mind frame. So at first it really wasn't that big of a deal, you know, and now, you know, she wants to go get her hair done. She wants to go shopping.
Sure.
And I'll tell her we can't go. And she'll say, why? And I'll say, well, because of the pandemic. And then she goes, oh yeah. You know, so it's like I'd have to remind her of it. And, you know, you know, we've been doing some Zoom like family chats, you know, so that's nice. She likes it. She's into it. Good. I figured out a way to put it on the TV. I have like an Apple TV. So if whatever I see on my phone, I can project it onto the TV screen so she can see, you know, her great grandkids, and she can see, you know, she doesn't have she was an only child, and my mother was her only child.
Oh, wow.
So she doesn't really have family on that side. So it's really just, you know, like my uncle from my dad's side, you know, but she knows all of them, you know, obviously. Right. So she loves seeing like, oh, and she's so cute. She's like, oh, there's Richard. Oh, there he is. Oh, there, you know, and she's adorable. But you know, we're looking forward to the spring where we can sit outside, you know, but our days, you know, we do a lot of dancing. She loves to dance. So, you know, in the chair, you know, mostly. Yeah. But we listen to a lot of, I play her music from like the 30s, 40s, you know, and she knows every word. You know, and she's just awesome. moving. And I'll tell you, it's a lot of propaganda music.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Like, you know, because I mean, it's World War II, you know, and some of the songs, I mean, it blows my mind sometimes. I just have to laugh at it at this point. But, you know, so I don't know. I like I said, time is weird, but yeah, we dance, we try to laugh, you know, and just
good
take it easy.
It's funny that you said propaganda, and I thought it was kind of funny because I watched a TikTok video and they were talking about, these kids were talking about the 1920s, the roaring 20s, the 1920s, and now we're in 2020s. Is that a coincidence? What is that? You know, like we're living in a time of the 20s, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, that's pretty cool. You know, we have to wear masks. We can't stay out late. You know, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's prohibition, but it feels kind of like restricted, kind of like it was in the 20s. So it was kind of an interesting parallel when I saw that, and I'm going, wow, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. You know, you didn't notice it because you're in it. You're in the time. You're in the moment. You're trying to live and get through it. But when somebody brought that up, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. I thought that was kind of interesting, and I'm going to do a little research on that. I'm going to kind of do the comparison, see how that plays out, because that fascinating. That caught my attention. You know, it caught my attention, and I thought there's something neat about it, because right now we're living in a time where we're getting so much information and misinformation. What information is real? What's not real? What are we watching? We're being fact checked. We're being triggered. We're triggering other people. People trigger other people. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and with our egos. And so here we are in this time where we're hoping and we're praying that, you know, this thing just like goes away. But like I said in my last show, we've been living with viruses and diseases for centuries, and for a long time. We just going to have to learn to adapt and, you know, just kind of start over, you know, in some sense.
Right. Well, and, you know, I also, and that's kind of how my grandma, her, you know, she, you know, because she'll say things like, I'll say, well, we can't do that because of the virus. And she's just like, well, you just gotta do it, you know, and that's just kind of been her attitude, you know, and like, you know, my grandpa lived to be 95 years old. You know, my grandma here, she's almost 100. You know, a lot of people ask me like, what's their secret? Like, what did they do? And it's like, and then I got to think back, like, well, what did they do?
Yeah.
Well, my grandpa was a welder. That's what
Okay.
brought him here to Cleveland. But one thing that he always did was wash his hands. He always was washing his hands. Now, it could have been coincidental that he's always like messing with something or whatever, but that is something that sticks out to me. He would always wash his hands before he would eat. Like, even if we're at home, he would be sitting at the table waiting for my grandma to put the food on the table. And then as soon as she put it on, he'd go, oh, gotta go wash my hands. And, my grandma would yell at me and say, keep your fingers out of your ears, your nose, your eyes, and your mouth. Your hands are dirty. Don't do that. And so it's like, I'm thinking like all this stuff, and she, thankfully, I haven't, I don't get sick too often, and I haven't been sick. But when I was, in the past, when I have been sick, she's kind of savage. She would be like, no, you can't just lay in the bed all day. You have to get up and move around a little bit. She's like, you can go rest afterwards, but come out here with me for a minute, move around, and I'm like, well, Grandma, I don't want to get you sick. And she's like, you're already in here. Whatever it is, if I get it, I get it. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of her attitude. Just kind of, you got to keep it moving. She says, if you don't move it, you lose it.
Well, that's true. Wake up, get up, and do your thing, Just got to keep moving with it. I agree. Grandma's right, man. She says, get up and do it. Live it.
Just do it.
She's rocking in her chair. She's dancing in her chair with you,
Yeah.
She's just keeps just being in the moment.
But yeah, and I mean, and she adapts, she's been adaptable for sure.
Well, I would hope so, because to get to 100, you have to adapt to a lot of different things, different centuries, different, things and ideas and presidents and administrations and beliefs and people. But the constant thing that stays is love. Humanity tries to be better. And so people like your grandma, like yourself, I know that you're a fun person too. I know you in person. And when you come to the drum circles, you play, you're with us, you're having a good time, you're always smiling. So I can see that kind of stuff that inspires people to do better and want to do better. So I want to thank you personally for that, for being who you are, and always having a smile and always giving the big hug and just being there and supporting what I do and whatever you support other people as well. So that doesn't go unnoticed. So I wanted to share that with you.
Oh, thank you, Iggy. I appreciate you
for
giving me a space where I can feel safe enough to be myself and not think about, what other people think or say, because that's always been, I can be a lot for some people. It can be a little too much, but I know now I can just find my tribe, and that's fine.
Us little short people, full of energy. Hey, come on, man.
So yes. All right. Well, I love talking with you.
Thank you.
I'm looking at your face on my phone right now, and
and
I love it. And it's really cool, and I appreciate you. And
I appreciate you too, Amanda. Well, you have a great evening, and say hi to your grandma for me. Give her a big hug and keep dancing. Don't stop.
I will.
Don't stop. All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
You're welcome. Namaste. So, that's life, guys. Just not forgetting to participate, being in the moment, sharing, dancing, loving, appreciating the people who are around you, appreciating being in the moment. It's so easy to forget those things and to just kind of go, man, life is hard. Yeah, life is hard. Life is difficult. But life is also can be fun. It can be enjoyable. You can find the negativity in anything. If you work hard enough, you can find the positive things in life. You can find the magic in life, because remember, in life, magic is you. You are the magic. You are the reason why people come to you, people like you, people trigger you, you trigger people, because your magic triggers them. Your magic it comes out and you share it with the people. So don't ever sell yourself short. Expect that the world is going to be better every day. And I believe that. I really believe when I wake up, yeah, some days are really hard. It's hard, my body, and I'm 54 years old, and but then you start to warm up like an old car. You start to heat up, you start going, and then you're just going, But life is to be enjoyed. There was, like I told you guys last week, my son told me that one of his referees told him that enjoy life because you'll be dead longer than alive. And I said to myself, that's a very powerful statement because that is true. And for me, that was pretty on point. So I thought that was pretty accurate description of what happens to us. So, anyways, I want to invite anybody else who would like to come on and share a thought and share what's on your mind. The links here on on my timeline here. If you can see it, if you don't see it, it's above here, and there's a passcodes there. So just join me, just buzz in, and I'll put you online, and we'll share for a little bit. And we're talking, here a little bit about what it means to live in the illusion. We are living in an illusionary world. There are things that are happening that sometimes just doesn't look like what it used to look like. But did it ever look that way? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, because right now there's a lot being thrown at us. Um, there's a lot of things happening that we just, how do you say, we don't know how to absorb it or take it in sometimes. And then sometimes we just take everything at first glance and first, it's just been really wild. I've been in this quarantine just like everybody else. I'm no exception. There's no exception to the rule. Everybody has been locked down to some degree or another. Now, some people will do it their way, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. Some people will not wear a mask. That's okay. That's fine with me. If you wear it, don't wear it. What am I going to do? What can I personally do? Am I going to just stop living because someone's not wearing a mask? As long as if I'm wearing my mask, I wear it. That's you just keep going. Am I going to take the vaccine? I don't know. Are you going to take the vaccine? I don't know. It's up to you. We have to make decisions for our personal growth, our personal life, and not get upset if somebody else doesn't go along with the plan. We can't force people to do things that they don't want to do or don't feel like they want to do. So if we're going to ask people to do things, maybe we can approach it in a much nicer way. Life doesn't have to be difficult, like I always say. Life is one of those things that you just got to keep moving forward. You got to keep going. And so I'm excited that the future looks better for us, that we're going to have a good time, that we're going to be okay. We're just going to have to be patient. We're going to have to take our time and feel and observe things the way they need to be. And so we can't get too hung up on what happens. We have to adapt constantly. And that's life in general. Life is about changes. Life is about being where you're at, who you're at, with who you're with, what you're doing. Life is beautiful. Life is one of those beautiful things that we have to just adapt and just enjoy sometimes. And it's so easy to get caught up in the negativity of things. And what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? But either way, I'm glad Amanda came on and shared her thoughts with us a little bit. It was nice to get a different perspective on things and what is going on, what's happening, and how the world sees everything. And there's just, like I said, we're coming to this place where we're going to learn so much about who we are. We're going to learn a lot about who we think we are, how we feel about this world, and how we're navigating this world. This world is made for us to enjoy. This world is made for us to, just live it and be part of it. And you know, and we have to be in alignment with it. So basically, that's about all I really have for today. Since I don't see anybody else popping on, that's okay. Next time maybe. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight, being on the air with me tonight, sharing with me tonight, and sharing your comments with me. And I will see you next time on Iggy Garcia Live. So I want you to go in peace. I want you to thank the people that you love for being in your lives. Ho'oponopono matakuyasin irisikwi. It's good to be here. What is above is below. And that's where we're going to go. We just have to keep living. All right, guys, take care. Be well. And I will see you next time here on Iggy Garcia Live. And check us out on withinsightsradio.com and iggygarcia.com. And we will see you next time. All righty, guys. Take